Hello, I'm Jo Wintrott and I am the host of the Amijo Show. Thank you for tuning in today, and I'm thrilled to have another Joanna with me because I'm actually Joanna, but Joanna Jewitt, welcome.
Oh, thank you very much. Thanks for inviting me.
Pleasure. And obviously we have Nala the dog, essential for any
It's
YouTube
very
video
important.
I tell. So thank you for tuning in today. Today is a very big topic and a topic that's close to my heart, and hopefully you'll resonate with this as you learn more about it, and with the expert help of Joanna here, we can discover more about what we can do about it. And the problem today is that we're going to discuss today is about holding ourselves back. What holds us back from achieving our goals? What holds us back from making big decisions in our lives? When we can see what we want them to be, we can see where we want to go, but something holds us back, and something happens to us that creates this invisible barrier that we have to break through before we can achieve where we want to go. And thank you to Joanna coming in today to talk about this very big issue, something I can relate to personally. So we're going to explore that in detail, and also find out more about you, Joanna.
Sounds good.
Yeah, so you're based in London.
I am. I'm based in London. I'm in Hackney, actually.
Okay, brilliant.
Which is very good, yes.
Yep.
Coming back to your topic, what's hold us back? I think it can be, for women, a fear of unknown. A fear of when we go somewhere new, a different job or a different company, it could be the fear of the expectation of that company, the fear of judgment, rejection from them. It's a huge thing, to be honest. What holds us back are our own internal fears about how far we can take ourselves. Maybe we self-sabotage or procrastinate what we want to do. There's many topics on this.
Yeah. So it's the unknown, isn't it, generally?
It's definitely the fear of unknown.
It's the two things of the fear and the unknown, because they're actually two very big different things, aren't they? Because we can fear is something that is sort of within us that we hold on to, and the unknown is sort of something that's on the kind of the periphery of us that we're envisaging, aren't we? Because obviously with your own story, which you'll come on to, I'm sure, we often kind of imagine what's on the other end, or we imagine what something's going to be like, and then that runs into like a movie in our heads of what it could be like. And often, sadly, I think we then go down the negative rabbit hole of how bad things could be.
Absolutely, that's exactly what happens with a lot of my clients. They come to me for confidence, anxiety, maybe stress, and if they want to move forward, it could be that what they're thinking is something negative happened in the past, so that's going to happen again. It's always happened to me like that. This always happens. That's always happened. That's how it is for me. I'm cursed. This is what happens in my life. That's a very negative way of looking at it, but that is often what people can just think to themselves. If I want to achieve something, someone's going to pull me right back, which is a very sad way of being. It really is. So with the work that I do, we try and help the clients to realise there is another way.
So what we're saying then is that we either hold ourselves back, or we worry what other people are going to say. The two things are linked, I guess, but yeah, we think, well, actually, what if that goes wrong? What are people then going to say about us? As well as the fact that we then also have this inner voice, the inner dialogue that stops us, and we think, oh no, well, you can't do that. You're not.
You can't
worthy,
do that. You can't do that.
Enough,
I can't do that. I can't achieve that. I can't do
enough.
this. It's always going to be like this. That ongoing loop, which just goes round and round and round and round. It's so hard to break until you actually realise what starts it, where it came from, what belief that issue was derived from. It might be from when the client was a very young person, perhaps they were at school, maybe even younger, or it could be something more recent, like some negative things happened with a partner, or a divorce, for example, or we don't know, or a failure of an exam even. It could be whatever it is. That it's always going to be like that. This is the way my life is. I can never break free from it.
I think we all have them. We all have these moments in time.
All of us.
That are like a stamp on our brains. You know, they're there, and they haven't eroded with time. They're just there. They just sit there, don't they? And we just don't really know what they are. we kind of can feel what they are maybe, but we don't really examine them and look at them.
See, what we do with a lot of the clients, we're talking in the conscious mind, in the thinking mind.
Yeah.
The thinking mind tells us how things have always been. But there's a lot else going on underneath that, which is the subconscious mind, which is where my work leads into. So in the subconscious mind, we look to find the root, the reason, the exact cause of a person's problem.
Yeah.
So in that example, just for example, someone's failed an exam, maybe they failed something. They always think like that now because they're never going to move past. So we look to why they've had that sense of failure in the past.
Yeah. So we're looking at that moment in time then, and drawing on that, and then using that information to kind of recalibrate it within us,
That's right,
to move on. Yeah, no, that makes total sense. And obviously, a lot of kids suffer from this when it comes to studies and everything that happens at school, because it can have my daughter, she suffers a lot from anxiety with exams, and I remember the time. So she probably needs to come and see. I remember the moment in time when she just something happened to her, and she just lost so much confidence when it comes to exams, and she just really truly believed that she wasn't ever going to do well enough. And it wasn't
awful.
For me, obviously, but it happened at school.
It happens in a lot of cases. It really, really does. I mean, confidence is such an important thing, and everybody wants confidence. Everyone wants more confidence. It's something that I see a lot in the practice that I work on. Everybody wants more confidence, and of course, when you have that confidence, you can feel amazing. So actually working on why it is that a person is being held back by this fear or this block, this thing was said or the event that happened in their past, when we can actually identify that root cause, that exact reason why this person still holds on to that feeling I'm not good enough, I can never achieve it, will never work for me. As soon as we can understand and work together in the session, the client can go, well, do you know what, I'm not 10, I'm not 12 years old anymore. I don't need to think like I did when I was 10 and 12 years old. So in fact, they can then start to feel that they're released and leave those feelings behind and move forward in a way that they want to achieve their life.
So we can just validate it by saying that it was then.
It was then, yes.
It's not now. That was me then. And yeah, for some people it is definitely, when they were 4 or, many, many years ago. Or it could be last week, or it could be last year, or whenever.
If it was more recently, say for example something happened like last week or more recently, most likely that client has also had that same sort of feeling in the past. So the thing that's happened more recently is just an echo of what's happened in the past, which is why it is manifesting more for that particular client right now, because it feels so stronger because it's something that's just come through them.
Yeah, right, okay. And so tell us a little bit about what you do. So you're an RTT.
That's right.
Is that right? A Transformational Therapy. I remember. Brilliant.
Rapid Transformational Therapy.
Yep.
It is a therapy that was developed by a lady called Marissa Peer, who developed this therapy over 30 years ago. It is based on NLP, CBT, psychotherapy, and other forms of motivational work. And basically what we do with RTT, as I said, we help clients who come to us get to the root cause, that reason for why they have something holding them back. And when the client comes to me, we'll have a dialogue about what their presenting problem is, what issue it is. It could be weight. I've done a lot of weight clients.
Sure.
It mostly do confidence and anxiety, or fears and phobias. And then we go into a session to go into hypnosis, which is very deep relaxation. The client is 100% in control the whole time. It's a very relaxing form of looking into their subconscious, a form of actually identifying and questioning the client's belief system. So when I've had that discovery call, if you like, or an intake chat, what we'll do is I will make sure I understand the client's problem really well. I really will get to understand what their issue is, how it makes them feel, what it does to them, how it changes their inner voice, that ongoing loop that they hear all the time, day in, day out. And I'll ask them, more importantly, what is it they want to feel instead? What would life be like if they didn't have that ongoing problem? Which is really empowering for the client, because they suddenly think, oh, I can not be like this. I don't have to be like this.
Yeah.
So when I know that, I will take down those words that they say, they want to hear rather. They'll take the words that they want to think about themselves in the future. We'll then go into the session. And in the session, I will ask the client to ask their mind, why is it they have this particular belief, their current belief, why they currently do what they do, say what they say, think the way they think. The client will answer me that from the subconscious mind. And when we're having that dialogue, we can then ask the client if this thinking process, this belief is still working for them. Is it still serving them? In every single case I've done so far, it's not serving them. So we can then say to the client, do they want to release that feeling, that belief? And when they can release that feeling and belief, they can then be free to who they want to be who they want to be. And as part of the end of the session, I will record an audio for the client. And in that audio, I'll go back to those notes I took at the beginning and repeat those statements that they want to hear about how they want to be without the problem. So when they listen to that audio, which I asked them to listen to for 21 days, I'm sure you know, 21 days is how long it takes to set a new habit pattern of thought. So that's why we go for that, 21 days. And when they listen to that audio, they hear the things that they said to me. They go, yes, this is where I want. Yes, I want to be like this. I am empowered. I am powerful. I'm strong. I'm enough. And we'll give them this recording. They listen to that. And then after 21 days, they have changed that thought process. That inner dialogue they came to me with has migrated, has changed, has gone. And it's either gone away or it's changed into something much more empowering for them.
Yeah, and that's the key, isn't it? Is replacing it with something.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because we will always keep thinking, so you need
Of
to have
course,
something to
of
think.
course.
Because if the thoughts were bad before and not serving you, you have to chuck something else in there
Yeah.
so that we've got something else to work on.
But we
and
can
that's
only
the
do
key,
that
isn't it?
when the client has actually understood why they were doing what they were doing.
Yeah.
So that whole process of helping the client, asking the client the questions themselves, so it's for them to answer the question in the subconscious mind, not the thinking mind that we're talking about now as the thinking mind. It's actually going deep, going really deep and actually finding out what happened to that client, how it affected them, what interpretations they had in their mind, how they took that particular event and what had happened, and then they can release it with these new powerful directions that I'm giving them in the audio.
Yeah, no, fantastic. And it obviously this can manifest for so many people in so many different ways, can't it? So obviously you and I are both business entrepreneurs. We network quite a lot together. Yes. So I see this a lot for women in business. So I see them stand up and do their minutes pitch, and I know how amazing they are. I know what experience they have, and they stand up and they give this kind of very mediocre kind of message that is nowhere near as good as they are. And it's because of the fear of public speaking, which I come across so much with a lot of my clients.
It's hard. Public speaking is a hard thing to do for anybody. It really is. It is a case of fear of being judged, fear of failure. And no matter how old you are and how often you've been doing it, there will always be a case of really understanding that you are there for a reason. You've earned your place to be there, and it's for you to speak up, and you can do that. But when there's a fear of being judged, that can really put us back on the back step, which is what's happening with a lot of people.
Yeah, and it's so sad because you can see how their business aren't flourishing, because actually being able to speak about your business is essential as an entrepreneur, really.
Absolutely,
because otherwise, it's like you're relying on other people to, or a whizzy website or whatever. So yeah, no, I see that a lot. But also it can happen, obviously, not if you're working for an organisation. I've seen people that have big aspirations, and so I have a client of mine last year. She was really ready to do something different in the business, but she was so scared of going to her manager and saying, could you think I could do this? And this woman is at that chair of a massive board.
Wow.
And she's very powerful in some ways, but there's a part of her that is being the little her, I think.
Yeah.
The age 12 or 7 or whenever it is.
Something will have happened.
Something will have happened.
That you hung on to.
Yeah.
Because we're always talking about the thinking mind, but in the thinking mind, we don't know how to get to that point.
Yeah.
It's very hard.
Yeah, and it's hard to pull that out. But sadly, she'll always struggle, I think, because she will stick within a remit with her life, because that is what is kind of workable for the way her mind works, isn't it?
It's interesting because that lady who you've just described will obviously have done a lot of work. She'll have done all the training, she'll have done all the experience, she's got all that knowledge she's had for all these years. So she's very entitled to be where she wants to get to.
Yep.
It's just that one thing that's holding it back. And that's only temporary, because as soon as she has understood that, she can go anywhere she wants to.
And I think the fear of judgment is a very big key thing, because that definitely is something. And culturally, I think in Britain, and especially for women, sadly, because I do a lot of work with the 50-50 Parliament group. We're trying to get more women in the House of Parliament, and it's that concern that what they say or speak or believe isn't right. That there's a right and there's a wrong. But there just isn't, is there?
No.
It's like you're entitled, if it comes from your self-belief and your opinion from your experience, that is entitled to be voiced.
Absolutely.
And it's never wrong. That's just you. And something I very much believe in, the purpose of this show is that we try and live life with our unique purpose. And that's why we're here. That's why we're put on this planet. You don't have to be like the person who went before you or the person who's coming next or whatever it is. The woman doesn't need to say a message like a man. We have our own different delivery of what we can say and how we can say it.
Absolutely. It's that fear of unknown, fear of judgment, fear of failure. I mean, in my particular story, I'd been working for an agency for a very long time. I'd worked in one place for 15 years. It was a really good job. I really enjoyed it. And I left a couple of years ago, and I was sent job specifications by recruitment agents for me to do the same job I did before. I was looking at these job specs going, I don't really think I want to do that anymore. I do know the job really well, I know it back to front, but actually I want to do something that actually serves the community, that helps other people. And I've been thinking that for a very long time, that when I left that agency I would like to do something really quite different, change my career. And taking that step out, I mean, it really had taken me a long time to actually physically leave the agency to go, right, this is what I want to do. Because I was worried when I was still at the agency that what are people going to say when I go somewhere else? How can I do something different if I'm, how do I do it? How do I do it? I don't know what I want to do. How do I want to do it? I had that ongoing loop. And then it came back to me asking myself exactly what are my values? What do I want to do? And that was definitely wanting to work in a space where I was helping the community. So I don't know if I mentioned in a previous conversation, I'm a massive Brian Tracy fan. He's an Canadian motivational speaker who developed the psychology of achievement. I cannot recommend it enough. Yep. It's brilliant. You must get it. My father got the psychology of achievement in cassette tapes.
Brilliant. Remember those?
Remember those? And we listened to it in the car on the way to and back from school since I was 13 years old. And I've still got them. I haven't got the cassette tapes, of course. But you can still listen to Brian Tracy. And his whole style of how change your thinking, change your life really, really resonated with me. And I've always believed in that. I've actually been called by a really close friend relentlessly optimistic. And I'm like, I'm going to get a badge made of that. Great. I love it. I love it.
There needs to be a movement.
I know.
Hashtag.
But that's because I've grown up since 13 years old with Brian Tracy. So when I left the agency I was talking about, I then was trying to think, what can I do? How can I do anything with Brian Tracy? I can't be Brian Tracy. I can't do that. So then I went to lots of conferences in London a couple of years ago. I went to see Byron Katie in Paris. I've looked at loads of Eckhart Tolle, Gary Zukav, all these kind of amazing motivational people who really get it. They get it. They get the whole idea. And I thought, I'm so motivated by this. And then suddenly I just found Marissa Peer. And that's Marissa Peer. She developed RTT, and it all just worked out because she's developed a way that she can encourage people like me to train with her, to learn her therapy. And that's just how it worked. I was very lucky. Do you know what? I didn't get impatient. I didn't get frustrated. I just allowed it to happen.
Yeah, and that's really important, isn't it? Because we can easily, sorry, just tweaking something here. We can easily get kind of hung up on the fact that we haven't done something when we could have done or when we should have done, and we just suddenly lose that kind of whole point of our lives and think, well, actually, that was a big mistake. I really wish I'd done that. I really wish I'd done this. But there's a point and purpose for all of it. It's not wasted, and it will happen when it's meant to, won't it? It will. The thing that's going to change, you have to put yourself in those positions. And I don't like the word work hard at it. I don't like that phrase. It really bothers me. I think you need to have focus, and you need to keep it in your energy field, that you will change, you will do the right thing, and that will happen at the right point at some point.
Absolutely.
But you have to allow that to kind of exist. Yeah, and obviously that for you was the right time.
It was. I think I started thinking about really what I wanted to go. I sort of raised my vibrations, actually really putting it up there. I didn't know that at the time.
No.
I had no idea where I was going to go, how I was going to.
Yeah.
It just worked out. It's been wonderful.
Fantastic.
But coming on to something you just said, talking about wishing things to happen, it's very careful to not get into that whole trap of, I wish I'd done this, I wish I'd done that, I wish I'd made that decision, I wish I'd done the other. If we say we're going to wish something, or if we say we're going to try, it's almost like saying to the mind, I want to do something, but I know I can't.
Yeah.
I know I can't. So it's
fail.
better, It's better to go in the direction of, I know I'm going to do it, I am responsible, I will achieve things.
Yeah, well, there's a great little three phrases there. I know I'm responsible.
I know, I don't know why I said that.
I will achieve.
And I know I can do it.
I know I can do it.
Yeah,
so
it's
there
very powerful present tense words.
Yes, which is what we need to do. So just as a final takeaway, so for our viewers today, listeners, what would you say the one thing that they can do right now just to make a difference in their lives to help them?
I would say if they can start being aware of what they're thinking, being aware of that ongoing loop of negativity, and think about maybe changing some of those points by realising something they can be really thankful for, like they've got some beautiful kids, or they've got a lovely home, it's a beautiful sunny day. Even though that's only minor and it's not actually achieving anything, it just takes that pressure away from that negative thinking and puts the space, put them in that space of the present moment of where actually things are maybe not going exactly as to plan right now, but I have got some stuff I can be grateful for. Yeah. And that really helps the mind to actually be grounded. Yeah, and just value where you are right now. Because, it's great to have goals, isn't it? But actually you do have to have a period of sitting where you are now. Yeah. And just allowing that to be valuable too. Yeah. Well, thank you so much. It's been such a joy talking to you. Nala's been fairly well behaved. Yeah. There's her ear there, look. So I hope you've enjoyed the show. I hope you've got lots from my chat with Joanna today. And Joanna's website is? It is enhanceyourhorizons.co.uk. Enhanceyourhorizons.co.uk. This is Joanna Jewitt. I'm Jo Baldwin-Trott, and I look forward to speaking to you again soon.